Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm a basketball commentator. I'm the host of this podcast. We talk all things basketball, but I've been focusing a lot on the Basketball Africa League. The Sahara Conference has happened. It's finished now. I've just come back from the Dakar Arena. You can see I've got my shirt. It was really, really amazing to see a Duke play Saleh. Really awesome, really great experience. And I want to talk about that experience as well. But remember, please do follow me on Twitter at Mpho, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Mpho. My Twitter handle is Mpho. Today was just a beautiful day. It was a day that kind of let me know that I actually do want to work at this tournament. I do want to call games this tournament. It was really awesome to see. My voice is slightly going, so please do bear with me in the Sahara Conference in Dakar, Senegal. Well done to the Basketball Africa League team. It was amazing. Let's actually talk about the experience. It was insane. It was a world-class experience. You walked in there, everything was just beautiful. Everything was new. The fans of Duke were just amazing. And follow me on my socials to see all the pictures, all the videos that I took, and you can feel that experience. The Duke team is a student team. So they had a lot of students coming in. They had Senegalese. There's a group of dancers that dance throughout the entire game. They don't sit down. They are amazing. They had the energy. The game had energy. And we'll talk about the game last, but really also experience, I think, please do so. It was amazing. Just give you a lay of the land. It was the final 2 days of competition, and teams were vying for the effectively final 2 spots in the playoffs. And so we've got that sorted out. But let's look at the fixtures. I'm going to go through each of the fixtures as they went by in the final 2 games. So looking at the bottom 4 fixtures, the first game was Reg versus US Monastery. That was the game of the tournament. Reg winning 77-74 by 3 points. The biggest upset of the tournament. The newbies in Reg Basketball Club out of Rwanda. Remember, they beat the Patriots, who came in 4th in the last BBL, in last BAL. Incredible game. Very good game. Reg throughout the tournament didn't necessarily have a presence in the paint, but in this game they did, and it came in the form of Pichu Manga. He was unbelievable. He was so dominant, and he scored 16 points and 10 rebounds. And if you look at him, had 5 blocks. You look at stat line, really dominant stat line. But what he did on the court gave Reg that ability to push through. Reg were behind in the last 3 quarters, but it was in that fourth quarter. It was about with 4 minutes to go. So in the fourth quarter they started. They go on a 7-0 run. Did Reg? Then Monastery came back to within 2, and then Pichu Manga with 4 minutes to go took over. He scored 6 straight points to give Reg the advantage and pull away from Monastery. Monastery were there. Majok with 12 points and 15 rebounds. Dixon scored 23 points. It was a really good game, but it effectively went down to the wire, to the team that effectively just it scored well in the final quarter. It was one of those games where I can't necessarily say so and so this team did better, this team did well, because Monastery were the more efficient scoring team. They out rebounded Reg, but Reg had more assists, more blocks, and less turnovers. Scoring Nshoboza scoring a lot of points here. Let's have a look. Nshoboza scored 8 points in that game. He wasn't having a good game, but it was Cleveland Thomas who scored 12. Didier and Dizeye, who've been waiting for him to come through, him scoring 15 points in that game. So that was really good to see him back there, because he's a really good talisman for the side. The next game in yesterday's game in the group was For Saleh versus Slack there at the bottom, 91-81 to For Saleh. This was another Terrell Stoglin show. This man is the most talented player at Bal, and he's showing 29 points, 5 rebounds. He really put on a show yesterday against it's like a little bit more dominant in the paint with Obekba, especially with Saleh not being there. But Saleh have improved defensively throughout the tournament. They play defense in batches, and they do that really, really well in like periods of 5-6 minutes, and they defend really well. Stoglin 29 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. He was really good there. But the shining light from this Saleh team, which will help them in the playoffs, is Amadou Haruna, 25 points. He was 100% from the free throw line. He had 3 assists and 2 rebounds. He's been carrying the ball a lot with teams double teaming Stoglin, and so when they double team Stoglin, Haruna comes through really well, and you got that sense in this game against Slack. Slack just went there. In this, but Marcus Crawford scored 19 points. He got fouled out at the end of the third quarter, so they played a full quarter without their number one scorer. Dan Anthony Miller scored 17, and Ziako scored 11. Effectively, Slack themselves really put them in a tough spot in that fourth quarter without Marcus Crawford. They need to work on. Really good win for Saleh, who are proving that they who are coming back into playoffs for a second time. Saleh were more efficient from scoring. They scored 13 3-pointers compared to 6. 13 of 31, that's 41%, and 6 of 25 Slack did for 24%. So that kind of tells you where Slack's weaknesses were, the perimeter defense. And that's one of the reasons why they did not win today. Even though they out-rebounded Saleh, they got more assists than Saleh. They had more blocks than Saleh, 7 to nothing against Saleh. More points in the paint, more second chance points, more points from turnovers, even more bench points, but they still lost. It tells you about the shooting from the perimeter. It doesn't matter what you do. If you can't defend your perimeter in this modern game of basketball, you can't go anywhere. And that's what ended up with Slack losing there, and that helped Saleh effectively qualify for the playoffs. The next game in our slate this final 2 days, it was Beira versus Reg. Beira went in needing a win to give them a chance since this tournament was a head-to-head tournament, but it was going to go down to goal difference if it was to points difference, not goal difference, if there was a 3-way tie. Beira went in hoping to get through, but they couldn't get past Reg again. Reg went all in on this one, and this was a really good game for Reg because this win helped them. They won 94-89, helped them win the Sahara Conference based on head-to-head. They did beat Monastery the night before, and this was it for them. Jean-Jacques Nshobozwa scored 28 points. This was a 3-point shooting masterclass. Reg 20 3-point shots made of 36. It's a 55% hit ratio, whereas Beira 7 for 21. And that's what it was. Beira was scoring 2s. Reg was scoring 3. It became a maths equation, and Reg pulled it through. They out-rebounded Beira. They also out-assisted Beira. This was a complete performance from Reg. Really good to see them do that. There was a little bit of a fight back from Beira in that final quarter, but it was the third quarter that pulled away. That pulled the game. It was the first half that pulled the game away from Beira, and they were just fighting back, trying to get themselves back into this. But the 3-point shooting contest was there, and Nshobozwa was in that contest 8 from 11 from 3. Ndieze was 5 for 9 from 3. He scored 21 points, and Cleveland Thomas with 21 points. He was 3 from 6 from 3. They could not stop them. It was interesting because Beira had 40 points in the paint compared to 18. but they still lost. Jamel Kennedy coming out with 12 points, William Perry with 15, Ubise with 17, and Jean Ayade Marks Munguambe with 17 points. That was a really good game. Another way to close out the ball for Beira. They tried, but they could not make it in, having lost to Duke versus Saleh 86-91. This was a good one because the home team, with their support, you thought that they might just be able to do this. They came within 5 short. They had so much energy, and it showed. Sheikh Badialo gave us a class. What a game from him. He was their talisman. He was just scoring points when everybody wasn't scoring. 11 from 17 from the field, 5 from 10 from 3, and he was 100% from the free throw line. It's one of the most close to perfect performance you could ever get in a basketball game. He was just unbelievable. He was unplayable tonight. Just the only problem was he scored these 30 points in the first 3 quarters. He did not score a point in that last quarter, and that kind of was a situation of where they were. They didn't go to him a lot in that final session. It was Tariq Ali who was leading the charge there with 17 points. He was really good today. He had 15 assists as well. Just unbelievable. No look passes. He was just finding players, and the one player was finding was Adama Diakite. He scored 16 points off the bench, the center. I don't get why he doesn't start for this team. They like to go for Shadrach Lufile. He came out with 4 points, and that just wasn't working. Diop, the captain, with some monster dunks as well in that game. Good to see, good in the crowd going. But you need to stop Stoglin. They couldn't. They double-teamed him for most of the night, but Stoglin managed to get 30 points on the day. That kind of tells you the type of player he is. 9 from 17 from the floor, 5 from 9 from 3. He only missed 1 free throw. That's that 90 because he had 7 or 8, and that gives him 87%. So he misses out, but he had 7 rebounds. He had 4 assists. The great thing about Saleh that is different now is that the defense has improved a lot. They defend really well, especially protecting the rim. Bukushu was so good at protecting the rim tonight. He had a few blocks. Kurdu, the number 6, was really good as well in terms of being. But the thing, Duke 45, 35, and that's one. There were rebounds up for grabs. Duke didn't have anybody on the offensive boards on the other end, and even on the defensive boards. Saleh in the half court against better opposition in playoffs, especially with the use of screens to get Stoglin out. They just want to they're using cuts to try and get Stoglin free. It's not giving him it's giving him some space, and he's making use of it, but he's not giving him all the space. And essentially you'd want Stoglin to get as much space as he can to open up. So that was the thing. But I love the use of Haruna and getting Stoglin off the ball very quickly in that game. It was a really lovely game. Really enjoyed it. And what a way to end the Sahara Conference. Bal. Remember, the other conference is the Nile Conference. They've got Zamalek, Cobra Sport of South Sudan, Cape Town Tigers of South Africa, Petro de Luanda, who came 3rd in the last Bal, Espoir du Fukash of DRC, as well as FAP, who come out of Cameroon, who are the armed forces of Cameroon. So that's going to be a great Nile conference. But let's look at the table. Let's see how it finally ended up. You had your 4 teams. Reg, by virtue of beating Monastery yesterday, win the Sahara Conference on head-to-head. They go through as the champions of the Sahara Conference. Silent wins and slap 2 wins and 3 losses. The 2 teams to not make it into Kigali are Beira, who will be disappointed, as well as Duke, the home team of Senegal. Really disappointed. You hosted, but you came last. They really did try. They gave a lot of effort. They gave everything for the crowd. They just didn't have that experience to make their way through in there. Really loving this coming out of Sahara Conference. It's going to be interesting to see how Monastery handle the playoffs in Kigali. And then it'll also be interesting to see how Reg does it in their home court, how they'll be able to galvanize the crowd and do it. I really go. And so all I can say is the bell is here to stay. It's a really great competition. Please do go watch it. Watch it on your TV. Support it. These players are great. And if I had to say who the MVP of the Sahara Conference, I'm giving to Jean-Jacques Nshobozwa, largely because of his defense. I believe defense wins championships. His defense helped them win the conference. They had some really great wins against some strong teams. They beat Saleh. They beat a Monastery, which is really, really good. Terrell Stoglin, from a scoring perspective, he comes very close. The man can score anywhere. One of the most efficient and deadly shooters in the ball. Really, really awesome. But for myself, Mpho Motlani, remember, you can follow me on the socials at Mpho Moreki. My name is Mpho Motlani, and let's call it a night. Good night. Goodbye. See you enjoy. See you when Bell comes back in Cairo for this edition of the Ball and All podcast. We'll go back to our normal NBA podcasting from next week. Thank you very much. Goodbye and le sale kakagisa.